Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a un nuevo vídeo del canal. Estamos aquí de vuelta continuando con nuestra aventura con la misión de Arconte tan divertida que estamos ahora mismo, que como ya sabéis estamos en Genshin Impact. Y todo a continuar Quimeras, Ilusiones y Engaños, el capítulo 3, acto 3, la mirada de cierto dios. Después de todo lo que ha pasado, la aparición del mismísimo Dottore, ha llegado el momento de ver qué pasa ahora aquí y qué podemos ir avanzando. Así que vamos a venir a disfrutar a tope de todo esto, pero primero vamos a tener que ir a la villa de Candace para ver un poquito cómo continúa nuestra aventura. Así que vamos un poquito a reventar un poco aquí a los pobres ilichurleos. Vamos a pillar... Epa. A ver... Ahí va, pa. Vale, con esto aparece un cofre aquí arriba, ¿no? Aquí ya había otro, o sea, ¿qué sentido tiene what? No he entendido aquí el sentido de algunas cosas, pero bueno. Vamos a quitarnos pronto a los amiguitos. Y se queda eso, el disparador, no entiendo. A ver, este se ha quedado vivo, ¿no? ¡Fuera! Vale, y ya está, cofre. Pues cofre muy sencillo, ¿qué queréis que os diga? Vale, aquí hay cajas vacías con champiñones, muy bien. Vamos a ver si es que con esto sirve para aquello. Bueno. Vale, vamos a ver qué pasa por aquí, va. Tasfin, mercenario limitado, alto ahí. Vale, pues parece que nos están buscando y que hemos caído en su trampa, ¿no? Bueno, vamos a acabar con ello rápido. Parece que se refiere a Dottore. Los mercenarios de este lugar tienen ventajas sobre los Fatui. Vamos al lío. Parece que tenemos una pelea fácil. Una de las cosas que más me flipa de Yoimiya es el tema de que cuando hacemos el ataque de R2, como podéis ver, apartamos durante unos segundos o stuneamos un poquito a los enemigos cuando, por ejemplo, hacemos la carga, lo cual pues nos puede venir bastante bien. Pero bueno, vamos ahí con el Tito Xiao, aquí a reventarnos a todo, fácil, rápido y sencillo. ¡Oh! ¡The match! ¡Que vengan! ¡Vamos allá! ¡Diluc! DPS, puede solo. Qué ganas de chetarme a Cyno y avanzar y todo eso, o sea, de verdad. Este mes de octubre va a ser top. Probablemente no sea la única emboscada. Bueno, pues nosotros nos acabamos de reventar aquí a una pequeña corte. Pero nada, parece que tenemos que avanzar. Así que vamos al lío. Vamos a ver qué está pasando. Aquí están los perretes. Cómo me flipa de verdad Sumeru. O sea, es que es brutal. Aquí está Colei. ¿Has visto a Tignari? Venimos buscando a Tignari. Pobrecita. Parece que la única manera es curar al Immersul. ¿No dijo por qué se iba? Cuídate mucho, colegio. Me sabe fatal por ella. Vale, pues parece que hay que ir al jardín de DJ, así que tendremos que explorar un poquito. Ojo, cómo me mola, yo siempre lo digo, pero esta casa es de las más curradas de aquí. Vale, pues nosotros ahora tenemos obviamente un destino diferente al que veníamos viniendo, pero parece que por fin avanza un poco esta trama. Así que en este caso hay que venir hacia aquí. Yo no tengo desbloqueada la entrada, pero como podéis ver tenemos aquí este teleport, así que el viaje no va a ser tan largo como podría ser. Como siempre, lo que digo, las exploraciones que me he pegado así aquí por aquí han sido divertidas y siempre ayudan. Aquí tenemos, por ejemplo, otro que tendré que marcar, ¿no?, de nuestros amigos. Esto ya sabéis que son para las misiones y demás. Así que hay que apuntárselo en el mapa para lo de la misión esta que os comentaba de los Arakaki. Así que vamos a marcar esto y me lo dejo ya listo para cuando tengamos que venir aquí. Pero bueno, de momento nosotros venimos por aquí y vamos a buscar un poquito el cómo continuar todo esto. A ver. Estos jardines pinta acá, es una zona bonita, ¿no? Por lo que estoy viendo. Lo bueno que hay teleport, jardín de DJ. No sé cómo se pronuncia esto, ¿eh? O sea, aquí yo ni idea del spelling de esta palabra. Pero bueno. Tenemos teleporte, tenemos punto de vista. Vamos a ver aquí todito. Ay, qué guapas las flores estas. Me flipa mucho, yo lo digo en serio. A ver, por aquí, pum. Ahí está, jardín contemplativo, entrada desbloqueada. Lo tenemos y venimos aquí ya que estamos y pues lo que digo, al buen teleport. Vale, y ahora por aquí hay que buscar, ¿no? Vale, aquí está Catherine. Vaya, ¿será Najida? ¡Najida! Dottore no ha reiniciado tu mente. Pues sí. Estoy de acuerdo. Sí, bueno, eso esta vez, pero la podría liar mucho, Dottore, en el futuro. Vamos, que no le ha robado la gnosis. Algo es algo. Vale, o sea, ahora Dottore va a intentar capturar la conciencia de Nahida en el conmutador. Hay que darnos prisa, Paimon. Le decimos lo de Tignari. Vale, pues parece que por aquí todo está bien, pero obviamente hay que entrar al jardín y ver qué está pasando. Vamos a buscar a nuestro amigo Tignari, a uno de los guardianes de la Villa Gandharva que más molan. Y a ver qué pasa por aquí, porque aquí está... este no es Tignari, ¿no? Es... Hypatia. ¿Cuánto tiempo sin verte? Estoy tan feliz por ti. De hecho, estamos aquí para ver a Tignari. Nos lo va a explicar lo de la visión del principio de Sumeru, importante. ¡Oh! Está solo Tapasia. Nahida, ¿tú le crees? Vale, pues vamos a conectar con nuestra conciencia a ver qué pasa. Vale. Vamos con Hypatia. Bueno, pues buscábamos a Tignari, pero lo que digo, estamos listos para de nuevo meternos en el mundo del subconsciente y a ver qué pasa por aquí. Pero lo que digo, a esto tenemos que curar al árbol, tenemos que conseguir que Colei se recupere, tenemos que descubrir qué está pasando con Sumeru, con los Fatui, con Dottore. Esto es una locura. ¡Escaramucha! Bueno, 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 bueno. Escaramucha on fire. Tampoco escaramucha. O sea, es el que está haciendo el daño al árbol. ¡Despierta y pasea! No lo sé, me estás asustando un poco ahí, pasea. Pero un poco demasiado. Bueno, hemos visto una cinemática de escaramucha que literalmente ha sido brutal, ¿eh? Me ha flipado. Vale, por aquí hay algo que no está bien. ¿Eh? Me están flipando las cinemáticas y todo, pero parece que tenemos aquí una nueva batalla, ¿no? Está atrapada también. Escaramucha. ¿Cómo se viene esto de fuerte? No tengo nada más que decir, o sea... Madre mía, la que se va a tirar aquí va a ser grande, pero... Aquí está Tignari. ¿Qué estamos viendo? Respira hondo. Sí, soy yo. Nuestras conciencias intercambiaron su lugar. A ver, es un arconte, tiene que tener más poder que los humanos, seguro. Vale, o sea, Dottore y escaramucha. Dos Fatui, problema grande. Este está en código, solo nosotros podemos entenderlo. La luna se refiere a ella misma. Sí. El Arconte dentro. Por fin lo pilla Tignari. Gracias. Bueno, confía en nosotros, Tignari, va. Vale, él no aceptó, claro. Creo que ya sé de qué se trata. La academia está intentando convertir a Scaramuccia en un dios. Ahí pase nos mostró una conciencia divina. Vale, contamos todo lo que hemos visto con Najida y tal, y el encuentro con Scaramuccia. Esto parece que va a ser aquí el jefazo de este acto, obviamente. No sé si nos enfrentamos también a Dottore, pero la cosa pinta genial, de verdad. Me está gustando muchísimo la trama de Sumeru, creo que se están superando con cada acto. Y buah, esto pinta muy muy bien. Los Fatui están detrás de esto. Y Scaramuccia. Primero vayamos al desierto. Vale, Tignari se queda aquí para ayudar a Pasia. Ok. Pues, ¿qué queréis que os diga? Flipando aquí con todo esto, tenemos la mirada de cierto dios completada. Y ahora parece que toca poner rumbo al desierto, a una nueva área, un área que desde luego seguro que nos va a molar. Y un área que por fin vamos a poder explorar aquí en Genshin Impact. Así que vamos un momentito a abrir el mapa y como podéis ver, pues aquí tenemos la caravana de Ribat como objetivo. Así que voy a venir al teleporte, es lo único que tengo desbloqueado del desierto junto a esto, ¿vale? Me falta, como podéis ver, todo esto por aquí, pero es que lo que digo, me vine aquí fuera de cámaras para el tema de Cyno, para los escarabajos. Y bueno, vamos a venir aquí y vamos a ver qué pasa ahora. Ok, pues ya estamos por aquí, vamos a venir rapidito a ver qué pasa, pero parece que nos vamos a adentrar en el mismísimo desierto para continuar con este acto 3 del capítulo 3 de la misión de Arconte. Así que venimos aquí y a ver qué ocurre.
To Caravan Rebat. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
Es impresionante.
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
¿Al Asen?
Over here.
Oh, Ethan went that way. Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Vale, pues... A una velocidad desorbitada se nos va al Asen. No esperaba encontrármelo aquí al crack, ¿eh? O sea, tengo muchas ganas de que esté como personaje disponible porque es otro que me parece flipante el diseño. O sea, wow. La verdad que Sumeru tiene personajes con mucho carisma, ¿eh? Cyno, Candace... Candace, lo que digo, son 4 estrellas, pero me parece flipante el diseño que le han hecho. Queda realmente guay y es muy diferente a todo. Bueno, aquí no están buscando los mercenarios ermitas. No, están buscando a...
How did we lose them? They were just here a second ago.
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Gracias a la Asen. O al... Es que le llamo al,
There's
tío.
no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh,
Alicia, razón.
You do have a point.
¿Participaste en el gran proyecto de los sabios?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer.
O sea, que has venido a verme, crack.
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the divine knowledge capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos, which brings me back to you and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ainul Ahmar used the divine knowledge capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something.
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail.
Aún no te lo puedo contar, Al.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest.
Bien.
But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the divine knowledge capsule. Am I right?
Pues sí.
No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
That's right. We have the same plan as you. But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
De acuerdo.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. What?
Vale, pues parece que Al se suma aquí a la aventurita. Y ahora hay que ir a la aldea de Haru, que pues básicamente creo que es el siguiente punto, ¿no? En el desierto, así que... Si no me equivoco, creo que tengo ya desbloqueado. A ver... Sí, correcto, es el teleport que tengo. Así que venimos aquí y al lío. ¡Oh! Allá vamos.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Vale.
Whoa. This landscape is really something else.
Echa un vistazo. Ok, vamos a adentrarnos y a ver qué pasa por aquí con la aventura. Me está flipando lo que digo la trama de Sumeru. Las temáticas nuevas me encantan, están siendo muy top todas. ¿Qué es eso? Ahí hay algo. ¡Fino! ¡Wow, wow, 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 wow! Presentación nivel
Unless
God.
my memory
de Cyno.
fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the academia.
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Bueno. Pelea de
Judgment?
egos.
So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Haytham? Did you call him General
Al
Mahamatra?
Jason lo ha llamado Gran Juez.
Yes. General Mahamatra Cyno, head of all the Matra at the academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the
Lleva el casco
ultimate
de Nubis.
nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
Vaya.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer.
Tampoco me voy a quedar de brazos
There will
cruzados.
be
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al-Haytham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
Así que nos engañaste.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Cyno. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
¿Los sabios te asignaron esta misión?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh! What you would do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them!
Ahem. Well, look at you
Hey,
two,
there ya.
acting all tough and self-righteous over
Esto
there.
ya es locura.
Wait, Dia?
Día.
Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for— Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and but how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls
Oh.
until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
Los dos en plan de nos callamos. Ni siquiera voltean a ver a Deya.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away!
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Esa
Hey!
Candace.
All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover.
Someone's calling for
La otra, el
us!
otro personaje de la introducción en esta primera parte de esta 3.1, ya sabéis, Candace y Cyno. Cyno como 5 estrellas y Candace como 4 estrellas.
Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard
Pirémonos.
All right, stop yelling.
Me encanta, cada una a su bola. Bueno, pues parece que aquí tenemos algo, ¿no? A ver un poquito qué pasa. ¿Cinemática o qué? Vale, aquí estamos todos. Cyno que no para de mirar a Al en plan de ¿te reviento? Estos dos siguen igual. Todos callados. Se hizo el silencio.
Well, this is pretty awkward.
Pues sí, Paimon, un poco incómodo.
Wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru village.
Bien,
Our savior
encantado.
has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
Muchas gracias.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile your...
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files.
Vale, o sea, se ha dado cuenta de los planes de
What
la
little
academia
they
y
did
los ha
report
dejado tirados.
clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit.
El
However,
gran Sabiazar.
to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages."
So they really are up to no good.
Claro
I
que sí.
realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today.
¿Por eso te exiliaste?
I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority.
Cyno seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
Todavía no podemos confiar del todo en él.
Well, Cyno, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham?
Vaya,
What?
esos somos nosotros.
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the divine knowledge capsule, and I think we deserve an
Así que nos han
explanation.
vigilado desde el principio.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler.
Al-Haytham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. From my perspective, The sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing, had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
¿Y qué hay de nuestro encuentro?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
Eso es verdad.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would...
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence,
Bueno, por lo
I
menos
won't
esto se está
regard you as an
arreglando.
enemy.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two
Y está
clearing
en plan
up
de,
your
bueno, os habéis aclarado, ¿no?
misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring
Ya
that
pasa
I
de
spaced
todo.
out.
A mí, déjame en paz, yo estoy aquí
My
de chill.
situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad
Vale,
of the
aquí habla de Dunya,
Homayani
que se está
family, is
recuperando,
friends
¿no?
with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, Dia.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Vale, pues nos encontramos aquí. Parece que ahora hay que ver qué ocurre fuera, pero lo que digo, déjame un momentito que investigue esto por si hubiera algo. Pues parece que no, ¿no? A ver, está guay, es una casa bonita, pero no hay nada. No, parece que no hay nada. Vamos fuera a ver qué pasa. Me está molando muchísimo, lo que digo, está muy currado todo esto y ahora, ojo. Aquí tenemos el teleport. Ahí está, el buen teleport. Y por aquí lo que veo es que hay un montoncito de misiones que ya iremos descubriendo. Pero ahora nosotros vamos a centrarnos en lo importante. Vamos a ir por aquí a ver un poco de pasa. Es lo que os digo, después de todo esto, después de la legendaria, después de todo lo que tenemos que hacer, hay que completar un montonazo de misiones secundarias. O sea, van a ser vídeos más cortitos, pero van a merecer la pena.
Yes.
Se os acaba de
They just
reventar.
keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated.
Debes de ser muy fuerte.
Leave this round to us.
Vale.
It's been quite a while since
I'll be sure to put on a good show.
Vamos.
Let's go.
Pues vamos al lío. Vale. Vamos a por ellos. Ya sabéis, yo y Milla a full.
Wait, hear me.
Bueno,
Here comes
ahí
another
ven.
wave. When are they ever gonna let up?
¡Yo! Pues solo. Vale, ¿ya están?
The creature stopped appearing.
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
¿Eh?
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet.
Vale, este es el
I
alcalde de
had
aquí,
my
o el
hands
jefazo de
full
aquí, ¿no?
taking care of the village's I am the chief of Aru village.
Tío,
Everyone
mucho
usually
gusto.
calls.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Es lo mismo que dijo Tignari.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the
Vaya.
village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had
Vale.
encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with
Siempre ahí
them,
metiendo la
are you
puntillita,
trying to
eh?
alleviate your guilt in a
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Me mola mucho el Cyno, tío.
You're the
Es que
former
Alice, ¿no?
General
La verdad que tiene un
Mahamatra.
carácter que choca
You
mucho,
must
pero
be
mola.
an
Es que es lo que
expert
digo
in
de
these
ella,
kinds of
Candace, todos me
investigations.
están pareciendo
Thank
brutalmente
you for
top,
your
eh.
help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First
No,
they
desde luego hay
lose
que
their
ayudarlos.
sanity, now this! But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Cyno? You seem like you really don't trust him.
Por eso es una buena oportunidad para observarlo.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Vale. Pues parece que hay que buscar, en este caso, información con Cyno, así que vamos a ir hacia allá. Y al lío, lo que digo, aquí hay misioncitas, hay un montón de cositas que hacer, pero lo que más me está importando ahora mismo es el hecho de que, madre mía, es que poca broma, O sea, esto puede agrandarse muchísimo. Me parece interesantísimo. O sea, está guapísimo lo que está pasando con la historia y Cyno y todo mucho.
I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation?
¿Por qué llaman guardianes de la aldea a los eruditos locos?
One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. Aru village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru village? What do you make of it, traveler?
Es posible que se debiera al poder de Nahida.
Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Cyno, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story?
Fue la reina menor Kusanali quien realmente protegió la aldea.
Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon, is she really active in Sumeru? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... how should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise.
Y me salvó la vida, no hace mucho tiempo.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
All right, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this investigation.
Manos a la obra.
But easier said than done, especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh? Who are you?
¿Quién eres tú?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isaac.
Vale, Isaac.
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa.
The person you're referring to is not a local. Yet you are.
Grandpa is just Grandpa. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you.
So you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was.
Whoa. Ethan wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Cyno, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa.
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
Sí, no, tenemos que ayudarle.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Pues nada, vamos a hablar con Candace porque el tío no se crea un pobre niño, macho. En fin, la hipotenusa, o sea, de verdad, esto es increíble. Y ya está, es que no hay palabras para describir aquí al crack, al mastodonte, al fiera. No me creo ni a un niño, tío. Sí, no, de verdad, hombre. Vamos a ver. Vale, parece que estamos aquí hablando todo. Vale.
You're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you.
Vale. Pues sí que es verdad.
Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars.
Hola.
And accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace and would follow him all the time, asking him things like,
all this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Me parece bien. Tino tiene que haber pensado mismo.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate God watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Cyno?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Cyno.
Vale, pues parece que esto ya lo tendríamos. Y lo que digo, esto se está alargando muchísimo.
Hey,
pero aquí está Isaac.
Oh, it's you guys.
Puedes venir con nosotros.
Everything up. Let's go find your grandpa.
Really? Wow.
Encontramos a tu abuelo sano y salvo.
All right. Let's ask the local residents some questions.
Vale. Parece que ahora obviamente hay que preguntar aquí a los cracks, pero hemos completado con esto el capítulo 3, acto 3. Quimeras, Ilusiones y Engaños. Esto ha sido un poco lo que digo. Tenemos al parecer una nueva misión, que supongo que será el siguiente acto, si no me equivoco. Vamos a ver aquí. Ahí está el acto 4, el Rey Desert y los 3 peregrinos. Lo que digo, aún quedan muchas cosas que hacer. Y la verdad que estoy flipando, porque lo que digo, este acto a mí en lo personal me ha gustado bastante, me ha parecido muy divertido. Y bueno, espero que os haya molado igual a vosotros que a mí. La verdad que me lo he pasado en grande y ha sido un gran descubrimiento. Y bueno, con esto por lo menos ya tenemos el primer del capítulo 3, el acto 3 completado. Y lo que digo, en próximos vídeos supongo que iremos al acto 4, también hay eventos y demás, así que ya veré un poco qué hago, ¿vale? Pero bueno, tenemos un montón de contenido por traer de Genshin, así que la cosa está guay. Y bueno, si os ha molado, como siempre, dejad el buen like, suscribiros y nos vemos en la próxima. Soy yo, Herrero, esto es KTS y nos vemos, viajeros, por Teyvat.